Goedemiddag, mijn naam is Adlooi. En ja, mijn energiebedrijf had nou wel geld gestort. Dus ik heb lekker ijsjes gekocht, want daar had ik wel zin in. Maar ik was net een checkie aan het draaien. Maar dan schuiven we opzij. Doei. En nou DDoS'en ze mij weer, hè. Nou wordt niks. Daar ga ik direct op mijn gemak voor zitten. Ik heb nou toch geen internet, want ze DDoS'en mij weer. Ik moet wel zorgen dat ik mijn fikken niet bevries. En zo vermaak ik mij ook wel hoor, jongens. Jullie denken mij wel te hebben om mijn internet er elke keer uit te gooien. Maar deze jongen vermaakt zich wel. Ook al ligt zijn internet eruit.
Something here. We've heard the story before.
It was there 1 minute, and then it was gone.
What happened next?
That's the weird part.
Curse of Skinwalker Ranch. Elke dinsdag om 8:30. Nieuw en exclusief op History Channel.
In 2017, I flew to Romania with Eric von Daniken to check out one of the most remarkable artifacts we had ever heard of. An aluminum object said to be at least 40,000 years old. And even more extraordinary is that it was scientifically tested and found to have been made from an aluminum alloy that doesn't match anything humans have ever manufactured. Number 3 on my countdown of the top 10 alien artifacts is the Wedge of Ayud.
Transylvania, Romania, 1970. Workers digging a trench along the banks of the Mureș River unearthed 2 giant bones, and with them a mysterious metal object buried 35 feet beneath the surface. The strange object, known today as the Wedge of Ayud, is an aluminium alloy that appears to have been made thousands of years before humans were able to smelt or fabricate metal.
It was 10 meters in depth, associated with some bones, which they later identified as woolly mammoth bones. They were extinct 40,000 years ago, so they must be older than that. The wedge was analyzed 3 times, to my knowledge. The main metal in its composition is aluminum.
Humans didn't really start working with aluminum until well into the 1800s. So when you look at this wedge and you analyze it, it really has most of the modern properties we would associate with aluminum.
For decades, government officials refused to reveal where the Wedge of Ayud was being held, but its location has recently come to light. On January 18th, 2017, at the National History Museum of Transylvania, ancient astronaut theorists Georgios Tsoukalos and Eric von Daniken were offered a rare opportunity to get a first-hand look at the Wedge of Ayud. Museum curator Anna Gruia has taken it out of a storage locker, where it has been deliberately hidden from the public since the early 1970s.
Okay, I'm just gonna put my gloves on.
This is great.
So this is it.
Oh, okay. This is strange.
And here, this is where they took the sample out, and here to make the analysis. And here you see 2 pieces that are broken off, sort of. So maybe it was attached or something. But very strange.
So what does the museum have to say about this?
This is a very strange piece.
It is a strange piece for us as well. As historians, we do not consider it a historical object that we're used to. We don't know what it was used for, and we acknowledge these uncertainties about its dating and its composition as well.
So we have a real mystery here. But you see this patina over this whole object, and this creates another problem.
Yes.
And because you cannot fake a patina.
It's impossible to artificially create a patina.
The patina is a thin coating of various metal compounds that forms on the surface of the metal during exposure to atmospheric elements. The older the object, the thicker the patina layer will be.
It takes hundreds, if not thousands of years
For a thick layer of patina, as this apparently is, for it to develop.
So we still have a mystery here.
In all of your adventures, how does this compare to some of the other things that are inexplicable?
I am helpless. I have no idea.
That says it all right there. Very bizarre. Bizarre.
Could the Wedge of Ayud be a physical remnant of an extraterrestrial visitation that occurred thousands of years ago? Ancient astronaut theorists say yes, and suggest that even more compelling evidence of alien contact exists on the other side of the world, hidden deep within an ancient tomb.
When it comes to finding proof that extraterrestrials visited Earth, the evidence is not always obvious, but sometimes it can be crystal clear if you know what to look for. To me, this next artifact irrefutably depicts an astronaut in the cockpit of a rocket ship. Number 2 on my list of the top 10 alien artifacts, the sarcophagus lid of King Pakal.
Palenque, Mexico, 1952.
Dankjewel.
Archaeologist Alberto Ruz Lulier discovers the pyramid tomb of King Pakal, who ruled over the ancient Mayan city from 615 to 683 AD.
This is the famous Temple of the Inscriptions behind me. Perhaps the most famous pyramid in all of the Mayan world. The French-Mexican archaeologist Alberto Ruiz began his excavations at the top. It took him 4 years to slowly excavate step by step down the pyramid until he finally came to the tomb of Lord Pakal and the giant sarcophagus and lid that the pyramid were built around.
Arguably the most remarkable Mayan
Ja,
artifact
Sparky.
ever found, the stone sarcophagus lid of King Pakal has produced considerable controversy. Mainstream scholars believe the depiction is of King Pakal.
Elke keer als ik wegval, dan word ik gedidos.
But ancient astronaut theorists believe the king is portrayed seated at the controls of a spacecraft.
Daarom is het een goed idee om die desktop te bellen. Want ze DDoS'en mij op hun provider. Daar kunnen ze staande voet ontslag voor krijgen. Want dat hebben die Paul Middelkoop en Erik van Ginneken al gedaan. Bij een ander bedrijf op staande voet ontslag.
It appears as if Pakal is riding in some kind of a spaceship.
In 2011, the strange carving on King Pakal's sarcophagus lid was translated into a 3D replica by model maker Paul Francis.
When I saw this, I instantly said,
Ja, Sjaak, toen zei ik toch ja.
you know, it doesn't need to be spelled out for me. I don't have to find anything. It was already there.
Dat mag.
I think this is absolutely extraordinary because for the longest time we have said that what is on this Pakal lid is not something symbolic. It was something that the artist saw or was told about, and then he or she tried to recreate this on a slab. I also love the detail that you have underneath his right foot, where his foot is resting on a pedestal, and that is exactly what we can see on the Palenque slab, and how his hands are manipulating some controls, and also this kind of breathing apparatus that's going on in front of his nose.
The breathing apparatus is actually a very neat piece. It's called the giver of life. The soul transfers through this. And a giver of life to me would be air. I mean, we breathe air. This is a guy who needs this mass to survive.
Because, where is he?
Outer space.
There is only one artifact left on my countdown, and you will not want to miss this one, because as far as I'm concerned, it is the smoking gun for the ancient astronaut theory.
Sooner or later, we'll find out what the message says.
Ontdek de meest cryptische codes uit de geschiedenis.
This isn't possible.
En de genieën die ze uiteindelijk wisten te breken. Cracking the Code. Elke dinsdag om 11:10, nieuw op History Channel.
Na een zware strijd. Bravo! De verstopping is verplaatst. Kleerhangers lossen niets op. Die stopt met zijn ultra geconcentreerde formule wel. In 1 keer, zonder schade aan uw afvoer. Die stopt turbo.
Haal een vleugje natuur in huis. De nieuwe range elektrische geurverspreiders van Airwick neemt je mee. Dankzij het heerlijke parfum met essentiële oliën tot wel 120 dagen lang. Airwick, geïnspireerd door de natuur. Hoe kom je af van vieze geurtjes? Door het raam open te zetten. Maar voor hardnekkige geuren is het de geurneutraliserende spray van Airwick. Die heeft een parfum met essentiële oliën in een fles gemaakt van 99% gerecycled plastic. Zeg vaarwel tegen vieze geurtjes.
Life is the best story. Pandora, the every story.
Hou je van het ritme van je leven? Ja. Is dat te zien aan je gezicht? Nee, niet echt. Want onze Nivea Q10 gezichtsverzorging boost het ritme van je huid. Voor 24 uur anti-rimpelactie en zichtbaar minder rimpels. Al vanaf 7 dagen Nivea Q10 anti-rimpel power. Voor een gladder en gezonder aanvoelende huid.
Luister naar jezelf. Bepaal wat je wilt. Vind je draai en kom tot rust. Stel met ons jouw ideale bed samen. Dat op jouw lijf is.
Ik lig er alweer uit, gedidos.
Swiss sense. For everybody.
Create the extraordinary alien goddess and the new intense perfume, Mugler.
Nog een paar dagen. Braaiparty bij Hunkemuller. Nu het derde jaar gratis. Ook op hunkemuller.nl.
Season 2 is gonna be insanity. This is my good side, just to let you guys know.
Family, that's our superpower.
The Kardashians, nu te zien op Disney+.
Laat eczeem je leven niet bepalen. Bepanthen eczeemcrème start jeugdverlichting binnen 30 minuten. Verlicht eczeem met Bepanthen eczeemcrème. Zonder cortisone. Vaginale schimmel is heel normaal. Behandeld met 1 zachte capsule van Canesten-Gino. Het doodt de schimmel en verlicht zo jeuk en een branderig gevoel. Snel en effectief.
Schaatsen is mijn passie. Ook tijdens mijn menstruatie blijf ik bewegen.
Always Ultra maandverbanden voorkomen een vochtig gevoel. Lekker en geurtjes.
Ik voel me vrij als ik op het ijs sta. Ik blijf gewoon gaan.
Verander de regels. Always.
Je kunt niet voorkomen dat je kinderen thuiskomen met vuil van school. En het dan door het hele huis verspreiden. Maar wat je wel kunt doen, is Dettol gebruiken. Dettol garandeert de perfecte hygiëne voor al je oppervlakken. Dettol, het nummer 1 hygiënemerk in Nederland. En wist je dat 80% van de ziektekiemen zich via de handen verspreiden? Met Dettol No Touch kun je hygiënisch en gemakkelijk je handen wassen. Dettol.
Bij Nurofen weten we dat drukte soms hoofdpijn kan geven. En omdat u daar snel vanaf wilt, kan u Nurofen Vastine Liquid Caps innemen die snel worden opgenomen. U zorgt voor goed gevulde dagen. Wij zorgen voor een snelle verlichting van uw hoofdpijn. Nurofen.
Every serial killer starts with one victim.
Her first killing was the pinnacle of rage. She was the predator.
This is a wicked, wicked world.
What makes them cross the line?
She felt that she was finally going to get even with all the men who have hurt her.
And take someone's life.
He's stalking women. He's chasing women. He was a Jekyll and Hyde kind of person, evidently.
First Blood, Thursdays at 10:55 on Crime and Investigation.
Het dodelijke regenwoud. Wat ligt er op de loer?
Whoever built this site went to extraordinary lengths to keep their enemies out and their residents safe within.
Verloren steden. Uitheemse soorten.
We gaan het nog een keer proberen.
We zoeken de mysteries van de gevaarlijke oerbouwen der
Ik heb weer internet.
That kind of mystery archaeologists hope for.
Secrets in the Jungle. Maandag om 10:55. Nieuw en exclusief op History Channel.
Straks op History.
Zal Drek wel eens een e-mail sturen naar Topdesk.
down to number 1 on my countdown of the top 10 alien artifacts. Ancient aliens have traveled to all corners of the globe, investigating the most incredible objects ever uncovered. But this final one truly gives me goosebumps. Many of these have been found all over the world, but in season 10, we were able to have one of them tested in a lab. The results were nothing short of remarkable. Number 1 on my countdown of mysterious artifacts, the Paracas elongated skulls.
New York City, February 2017. At New York University, Giorgio Tsoukalos meets with art collector Jared Collins, who is in possession of a 2,000-year-old elongated skull.
Oh, wow. That is fantastic.
The skull is incredibly well preserved, and Jared is having it tested at the university to find out if it might possibly contain abnormalities that indicate it is something other than human.
So this skull was found in the Paracas region of Peru.
That's right, but no real modern testing has ever been done on this.
Oh, this is amazing.
Hundreds of strange, misshapen skulls have been found on the southern coast of Peru, from excavations dating back to 1927. It was at this time that archaeologist Julio Teo first excavated a massive burial complex, thought to have been built by the Paracas people, who lived in the region from 800 BC to 100 BC. Mainstream archaeologists say the elongation is most likely the result of head binding, which involves wrapping the heads of infants while their skulls are still soft in order to change the shape. But some of the Paracas skulls display abnormalities that head binding cannot explain.
So, let's go, right? Okay.
NYU Professor of Anthropology Dr. Todd Dissertel agreed to conduct a forensic evaluation of the elongated skull.
I've seen casts, I've never seen one in person.
Okay.
Wow. That is freaky. I mean, I just can't come up with another term.
I love that your first reaction is that it's freaky, because I agree with you.
Look at it.
It's quite bizarre.
In addition to being elongated, the Paracas skull possesses an abnormally large jaw and eye sockets.
Let me just move it over to the sterile bench surface. Wow. So it's very fascinating, besides the shape. The sagittal suture looks like it has completely fused. I'm looking at it, and it's just been completely obliterated.
The sagittal suture is the seam where the two parietal bones of the skull come together. Although the markings may be faint due to fusing over time, all human skulls are expected to have some evidence of this feature. So it is curious that this skull does not.
Okay, let's move on to extracting some tooth and bone powder to get DNA out of that.
Okay. Excellent.
The analysis of the material will determine the sex, ancestral lineage of both the father and the mother, and any DNA anomalies when compared with the current human genetic database.
Looks pretty good. So we will pack this up and send it off, and in 4 to 6 weeks they should have the result.
4 to 6 weeks, okay.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate your input on this.
Take care.
Thanks a lot.
2 months later, in April 2017, Giorgio contacted Dr. Dissertel to find out the results of his testing.
All right, Todd, you got the results?
Yeah, and they're very, very interesting. They did get a good, clean DNA profile from the maternally inherited DNA. So this particular specimen is actually not found in the New World, not found amongst Native Americans, and it's typically found amongst Europeans and Middle Easterners. In fact, the 100% match was to a Scottish individual. This makes no sense whatsoever.
Really? In a South North American skull? This is all very strange.
That could mean that people from Europe got to South America, 1,500 years earlier than we currently understand that.
That's amazing.
Unfortunately, the condition of the sample did not yield any Y chromosome. Unfortunately, we're missing that.
Right. Do you think that a case can be made at all, and again, this is complete speculation, that perhaps it is not necessarily human? Is that a possibility?
Well, it's possible, but still, we actually don't know what this is. Since we didn't get any definitive result, obviously a scientist always wants to try to do that.
This is extraordinary.
It's worthy of study or opening up a new area of inquiry and some new hypotheses.
An ancient skull more than twice as long as a normal human skull, with an enlarged jaw, enlarged eye sockets, no sagittal suture, and DNA that does not match the area in which the skull was found. Might additional testing reveal that this skull is not entirely human?
So did this Paracas skull belong to someone who was part extraterrestrial? Ancient astronaut theorists resoundingly say yes. Well, that concludes my countdown for now. And I'm confident that as more and more mysterious artifacts come to light, the evidence of alien contact will soon become too hard to dismiss, and we will finally have undeniable proof of our extraterrestrial origins.
Na de reclame op History. The Curse of Oak Island.
Now you're probably wondering why I brought you all here today.
Elke week ontdekken we de verras van de verhalen.
Krijg het koud, zoals altijd, van de ijsje.
Huisdier tot de Tweede Wereldoorlog, het klassensysteem tot en met het weer. Britain's Greatest Obsessions. Vanaf 28 oktober om 11:10, nieuw en exclusief op History Channel.
It was hard to believe my sister's gone.
Sadly, it got marked as a cold case.
There were no more leads, just silence.
But there was not a bone in my body that said I would give up on this.
One piece of evidence.
The purple shirt, boots, her glasses.
Had been overlooked.
At that point, everything changed. 18 years.
31 years.
40 years.
I screamed, we got it!
Cold Case Files, Thursdays at 10 on Crime and Investigation.
The Nazis were fascinated with the occult and mysticism.
Looking for objects of power.
To enable global domination.
We onthullen de kwaadaardige plannen achter de geheime expedities van de nazi's. Secret Nazi Expeditions. Vanaf donderdag 11:10, nieuw en exclusief op History Channel.
De beste messensmeders smelten, slaan en slijpen zich een weg naar de eretitel in Forged in Fire. Elke werkdag, 's middags om 2:55, hier op History Channel.
On the Curse of Oak Island.
Oh ja, ik lach er weer uit.
Zinc, lead, iron.
Ik ben weer terug op internet.
There's a large piece of wood that lines up with the road.
This is almost exactly what we were looking for. It's more than we expected. And you look at this.
Bingo!
This is Christmas. That would apply to a chambered, wouldn't it? It could apply to a chambered. Holy smokes.
There is an island in the North Atlantic Ocean where people have been searching for an incredible treasure for over 200 years. So far, they've found a stone slab with strange symbols carved into it. Man-made workings that date back to medieval times, and a lead cross whose origin may be connected to the Knights Templar. To date, 6 men have died trying to solve the mystery. And according to legend, 1 more will have to die before the treasure can be found.
rigs moved off the last location. I think we're ready to pin D1.5.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I got a good feeling.
Oh, yeah.
It's a new and exciting day on Oak Island. Brothers Rick and Marta Lagina, alongside their team, are more hopeful than ever that today could be the day when they discover what people have sought for 226 years. A vast and potentially priceless treasure buried deep inside the fabled money pit.
As we know, that's a very successful, we've been very successful in that area at least. Yeah. So based on the evidence and the data we've collected, I mean, this is going to be a successful hole.
Every shot counts. Oh, yeah.
Today, they're drilling borehole D1.5, one of nearly 20 laid out across a strategic grid. They've already discovered possible wooden tunnels here, between 75 and 90 feet deep, that could date back as far as the 15th century, as well as mysterious metal objects, and water samples containing both silver and gold.
The drill program to date has been very exciting. We found at least 2 separate pieces of iron had gold flakes on them, and the drill program brought up several pieces of wood that dated well before any searcher could possibly have been around the money pit. Up till now, it's been an information hunt this year. Now we're looking for treasure.
Oh, there's a whole batch of evidence that's going in the right direction for us. Well, that's great. Absolutely. So we gotta hope that this is the year. This could be the hole.
Sorry.
We got a core coming right here. Oh yeah. This could be an interesting one. What'd you get, Adam?
84?
84.
We're kind of on a roll this year. More than any other year. We have a lot of different signs pointing in the same direction for where we put the case up.
Let's hope it's good.
We have actual hard evidence, artifacts that we brought up that says, yeah, we need to put case on down in this area. But we also know from long experience that we can miss it just by the smallest of margins. And if you miss by an inch, you miss by a mile down there.
How's it looking so far?
We're at 84, so we're right in the key area, so.
Well, it could be something good.
Yeah.
Well, we have wood. All right. Good sign? Yeah, that is a good sign.
That is a good sign.
Is that a fairly substantial?
It looks like it just grazed it.
Yeah, it doesn't look like we hit it dead on, does it?
No, I say we graze whatever structure
If
that
the net
is.
hit something?
Yeah.
That starts to give good indications of tunnel potentially, and that's what we're looking for, a tunnel or a chamber right at about our sweet spot.
The team appear to have discovered further evidence of a tunnel, buried 84 feet deep in borehole D1.5. Could it be connected to the possible tunnel they encountered just 2.5 feet away, at nearly the same depth, 1 month ago, in borehole D2? Which not only contained evidence of gold, but was also carbon dated to as early as 1488.
What were the depths of the previous targets?
The wood samples that were 1488 to 1650, which were within feet of this, they were down to 88 to 91. So this is shallow to anything we found in the immediate area that I recall. Yeah. Now, it could be that this is part of the tunnel system and this is not collapsed yet, where everything else is going to collapse, so it gets shaded down above it.
Yep.
Because of over 2 centuries of digging by previous searchers, plus devastating cave-ins caused by what the team believed to be man-made flood tunnels, the Oak Island team can't be sure at this stage just what they're encountering while drilling within their current grid system.
Well, let's hope the next slide gives us more. Yeah. Let's keep digging, see what else is there.
While the drilling operation continues in the money pit area. Later that afternoon,
Here's good. Yeah, that's what we want to be.
Steve Guptill joins archaeologist Laird Niven, metal detection expert Gary Drayton, Jack Begley and Doug Crowell on Lot 4, located on the western side of the island.
Gentlemen, so what are the plans? Steve's got a map of the magnetometer hits.
Okay. So Doug and I put a possible 11 targets together. Okay. So for the hatch itself, there's 4 that we really want to key in on.
The first map that we're going to present is the total field magnetic intensity. Then you can really focus in on what we like to call anomalies.
Last week, CSR Geosurveys Limited conducted a magnetometer scan of the area and identified a number of buried iron objects.
This is a decent sized anomaly. I mean, it's right next to the road.
That's near where the hatch from Xena's map could be.
Curiously, these targets lie in the same area on Lot 4, where a possible tunnel entrance, or hatch, was labelled on a 14th century map of Oak Island, which the late researcher Xena Halpin believed to have been made by members of the Knights Templar.
Let's go, Navigator.
You done?
The team are hoping Gary can uncover compelling clues that might help them to obtain a permit, which they'll need if they're to conduct a much deeper dig in search of the so-called hatch.
All right, the center of this location, this is a large anomaly, is about another 10 feet in here. But since this is open, we should start here. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I should be able to winkle my way around here. I know it's overgrown, but...
You sure?
Yeah, I can get in here, mate. No snipping of any trees.
Okay, I'll get out of your way.
Okay, mate. I want to know what the hatch is. Is it a back entrance to the money pit? Or is it a possible vault full of treasure? But one thing for sure, if we can find the hatch location, it would validate Xena Halpin's research and the French map. Yep, good signal.
Is it a hit?
That's a streamer, that's so good. Yep, just here, mate. Don't know what that is. Good digging, mate. You got it out. Come on. Fingers crossed. She may hang, whatever it is. Ooh. Interesting piece of metal.
What is that?
Wow. What could that be?
Coming up.
We came down on a fairly level layer of stone, and there's a large piece of wood on the edge.
Wow, this is almost exactly what we were looking for.
Yeah.
Someone or something doesn't want us to collect data.
You gotta be kidding me.
This is crazy. That's interesting. Why is this happening? You guys want to shoot some rockets off with us, see what we can find?
Hey, look, you're right there.
There's definitely something here.
We've heard the story before.
It was there 1 minute, and then it was gone.
What happened next?
That's the weird part.
Curse of Skinwalker Ranch. Elke dinsdag om 8:30. Nieuw en exclusief op History Channel. Hé, Ida, ik zit vol haar en zeepresten. Denk je nou echt dat je alles te pakken hebt? Gebruik regelmatig D-Stop Turbo. Zijn ultra geconcentreerde formule voorkomt en verwijdert verstopping door ophoping van vuilresten. D-Stop Turbo.
Op tafel zie je soms dingen die je liever niet ziet. Een dof glas bijvoorbeeld.
En nou,
Vaat na vaat kunnen glazen doffer worden. Dat is
dat deze oude man
om je vaat te beschermen is een finish
niet eens te gaan plassen.
gepatenteerde technologie behouden.
En dan eet hij zijn kleine ijsje ook nog op.
Etensresten kunnen de goede werking van je vaatwasmachine in de weg staan. Gebruik Finish machinereiniger. Lost vetresten op voor een doeltreffende reiniging. Finish machinereiniger tijdens de vaatwasbeurt.
Schaatsen is mijn passie. Ook tijdens mijn menstruatie blijf ik bewegen.
Always Ultra maandverbanden voorkomen een vochtig gevoel, lekker en geurtjes.
Ik voel me vrij als ik op het ijs sta. Ik blijf gewoon gaan.
Verander de regels, always.
Luister naar jezelf. Bepaal wat je wilt. Vind je draai en kom tot rust. Stel met ons jouw ideale bed samen, dat op jouw lijf is geschreven. Swiss Sense. For everybody.
Laat eczeem je leven niet bepalen. Bepanthen eczeemcrème start jeukverlichting binnen 30 minuten. Verlicht eczeem met Bepanthen eczeemcrème. Zonder cortisone.
Heb jij wel eens jeuk? Of zo'n branderig gevoel met gewone vaginale schimmel? De eendaagse zachte capsule van Canesten Gino doodt de schimmel en verlicht snel jeuk en een branderig gevoel.
Might be the envelope with the bomb.
No!
chops.
I can handle things, I'm smart.
De beste Hollywoodfilms. Elke maandag tot met vrijdag om 20:30 op Paramount Network.
Hallo, wij zijn Picnic. Supermarktvrienden. Achter onze kleine wagentjes zit een enorm voordeel. Het voordeel van geen dure winkels. En dat betekent voor jou altijd lage prijzen, altijd gratis bezorgd en altijd super vers. Ja, waar een klein wagentje groot in kan zijn.
Season 2 is gonna be insanity.
This is my good side, just to let you guys know.
Family, that's our superpower.
The Kardashians, nu te zien op Disney+.
Ah, onze nieuwe wasmachine.
Voilà.
Een machine die het laat afweten na de vakantie. Wat een ellende.
Tja, en financieel staat hij er ook niet op te wachten.
Kijk, door die kookaanslag hier is de weerstand doorgebrand. Gebruik je geen kalgon?
Nee?
Kun je beter wel doen. 1 dosis bij elke wasbeurt neutraliseert kookaanslag.
Uw wassen uw machine leven langer met kalgon. Bij 30 of 40 graden is het moeilijk om sommige vuilresten te voorkomen. Gelukkig is er Kalgon Hygiëne Plus. Het voert vuilresten af en garandeert een perfecte hygiëne bij elke wasbeurt. Bij Nurofen weten we dat route soms hoofdpijn kan geven. En omdat u daar snel vanaf wilt, kan u Nurofen Vastine Liquid Caps innemen die snel worden opgenomen. U zorgt voor goed gevulde dagen. Wij zorgen voor een snelle verlichting van uw hoofdpijn. Nurofen.
Laat je niet gek maken, Sparky. Dat is hij niet waard.
Wat ligt er op de loer?
Whoever built this site went to extraordinary lengths to keep their enemies out and their residents safe within.
Verloren steden.
Nou niet meer.
Deskundigen onderzoeken de mysteries van de gevaarlijke oerbouwen der aarde.
This is the exact kind of mystery archaeologists hope for.
Secrets in the Jungle. Maandag om 9:55. Nieuw en exclusief op History Channel.
Wow. What?
On the western side of Oak Island, on Lot 4.
I have no idea.
Ik ga direct
Gary Drayton has made a potentially important
een klacht indienen
searching for evidence of a hash
bij Topdesk
tunnel entrance.
dat hun medewerkers mij constant DDoS'en.
That was awful deep. Yeah, that was deep. Any idea for the type of...
En dan zet ik de namen erbij. Paul Middelkoop, Erik van Ginneke en een zekere Dylan. Hij noemt zijn eigen Dylan Loy. Identiteitsfraude.
Hey, mate, can you come over here and check this target out, please?
Sure thing. What do you have?
We got a deep target here, mate. And you can see how deep we had to dig for that. It's not iron, it's some kind of copper alloy, but unusual shape. Maybe it's got some kind of decoration on it. This is a very interesting artifact. I don't know what it is. Potentially copper, and this looks like it's got a design on it. This is the type of find that tells a lot. That someone else was
Ik
out.
wou eerst mijn peuk af gaan draaien.
Well, it's too thin for a pot, like a cooking pot. But definitely
Ik
curves up.
eet eerst mijn ijsje op.
But definitely an interesting piece of metal. It could tell a story still when it's cleaned up.
It could.
I think let's tag it and bag it. Fingers crossed that's all.
Later that afternoon,
Fresh core on the table? Fresh core on the table.
as the drilling operation continues in the money pit,
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Hey, Hawks. You've been busy.
Alex Lagina arrives at the southeastern corner of the Oak Island swamp to check in with archaeologists Laird Niven, Helen Sheldon, Miriam Amiro, and Liz Michaels, as they continue investigating the possible 16th century stone road.
Done a lot of work.
That's for sure.
It looks like a ton of work.
Yeah.
Honestly. And you found some scraps of pottery, but not here?
Not here yet.
Mm-hmm.
What you got?
I have a piece of pottery, but
but I think it's really delicate. Okay. This is definitely Mi'kmaq.
3 weeks ago, while searching near the recently unearthed stone pathway adjacent to the stone wharf, Laird discovered pieces of indigenous Mi'kmaq pottery that he believes could be anywhere between 500 and 2,500 years old. Although how and when these artifacts came to Oak Island is unknown, their discovery resulted in the Provincial Department of Community, Culture and Heritage imposing new regulations on how the team is allowed to proceed in their efforts to solve the Oak Island mystery.
So this is for drone. We have free range inside of the green. Any activity inside the green we're allowed to pursue.
I see. In the red?
Anything that falls outside of the green, we need special permission to be inside of the red.
Whilst the new regulations don't apply to the Money Pit area, they do require the team to seek permission to conduct any archaeological work or large digging operations across the rest of the island. But even more concerning is that they strictly prohibit further investigation of the recently unearthed stone pathway, which the team believe may not only be connected to the stone wharf, but is also heading directly towards the Money Pit. Today, although they must stay away from the restricted buffer zone, Laird and the team have obtained permission to search for clues on the far west section of the stone road to try and confirm its possible date of construction.
What have you found out? What can you tell me?
So this unit we put in to try and see what was happening with the stone road because it seemed to disappear here. So then just before lunch we came down on a fairly level layer of stone, as you can see, and there's a large piece of wood on the edge that lines up with the edge of the road going towards the north.
Wow. This is almost exactly what we were looking for, is it not? I mean, a large piece of wood can be both carbon dated and endochronology, and it's part of the structure.
Yeah. It's actually almost more than we expected.
It is more than we expected.
All along that we've been working on the stone road, the real question was, where is it going? And it definitely continues out towards the beach. And I think that's important in terms of kind of just understanding its purpose.
Anything on the other side, or?
We've only gone this far.
Okay.
If you look at our permit application, that's what we're looking for.
Right.
You know, artifacts or samples that we can date. So
We kind of have to take it, find out what it is, and just cross our fingers that it's not going to shut us down.
yeah, pretty much.
The archaeologists have been a big part of our search these last few years, and they're finding a lot. But the elephant in the swamp is, if we find First Nation stuff, what are the rules going to be? And until we figure out a path forward with this archaeological work, it's a little hazy as to how much more gets done on this island.
So we did a trench in the center, and we got a nice large route under the stone road, so that's gone off for C14. That's going to be the priority, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, this is kind of the biggest thing from last year that we found.
Yes.
And I really hope that that comes back, dating to kind of our zone of interest, which is anything pre-1795.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Well, I'll leave you to it.
All right.
Thanks again.
Alex.
Thanks, Alex.
Okay. See you later.
While the investigation continues in the swamp,
Oh, yeah! All right, guys. That's going to be the one.
Alex returns to the Money Pit and joins Craig Tester and other members of the team as they continue the core drilling operation in borehole D1.5.
All right, this could be it, gentlemen.
What you got, Adam?
88.5.
88.5.
Thank you.
It's going.
Open up, gentlemen. This is Christmas. I don't want to be holding off. Open up the presents.
D1.5 is very close to D2. D2 is our go-to well at this point in time. You know, to me, this is a big can area. I mean, what is down there? We don't know, you know? Is there coins there? Is there gold nuggets or whatever? So if we can bring up exactly what's there and aid us in putting the big can down, it'd be great.
Now we got wood at the bottom again.
Yeah, and here.
I'm no pro, but I'd say we're scraping down the side of something.
Interestingly, we have wood close to the bottom again.
So is it scrapes along the side or something?
Yeah, what you said, Steve, you gotta start thinking maybe you're close to a vertical structure and you're bumping down along the side of it.
A lot of chips.
Yeah.
A lot of chips, yeah.
That's almost round, isn't it? Yeah.
Could be just a knot or...
Rounding?
It has the appearance of being round. Yep. think it's X-cut. So out of the core, we find a wood chip. And this wood chip has kind of angled edges to it, which indicates axe cut. Axe cut, to me, indicates a greater potential that it's very old.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Any hint of wood below in situ material, that generally says chamber or tunneling. Yeah. It's possible we veered over into a chamber with stacked timbers on the perimeter.
Oh wow. We should call my dad.
Pak ik een bloeitje.
Coming up.
What could that be? Fingers crossed. Look at that roundness.
We got results back from the fruit, and it dates to
En dan gaat deze jongen direct nog maar eens even lekker een uurtje onder de warme slaapzak liggen. Ik heb al lang geen middagdutje meer gedaan. En dat doe ik normaal om 2:30. En het is nu 14:22.
Bij Nurofen weten we dat drukte soms hoofdpijn kan geven. En omdat u daar snel vanaf wilt, kan u Nurofen vastine liquid caps innemen die snel worden opgenomen.
Lekker hoor,
Voor goed gevulde dagen
dat ik
lees
nou
voor een snelle verlichting van uw hoofdpijn.
voor het eerst
Nurofen. Op tafel zie je soms dingen die
nergens meer naartoe.
een dof glas bijvoorbeeld.
Geen taxikosten meer.
Glazen doffer worden, dat is corrosie en dus onomkeerbaar. Om je vaat te beschermen is een finish protector. Dankzij de
Morgen komen ze de rolstoel halen.
en stralen ze nog lang als nieuw. Finish protector.
Etensresten kunnen de goede werking van je vaatwasmachine in de weg staan.
Ja.
Finish machinereiniger. Lost vet
En weet je dat wel zeker?
Finish machinereiniger tijdens de vaatwasbeurt.
Dat je die rolstoel wil weg laten halen.
Just to let you guys know.
Je bent door je zorgverzekering tot 12 december ben je
Luister naar jezelf. Bepaal wat je wilt.
verzekerd voor die rolstoel.
En kom tot rust. Stel met ons jouw ideale bed samen.
En dan een speciale regel erbij. Klik hier om je afspraak te annuleren. Ja, echt niet. Die moeten ze morgen gewoon op komen halen, die stoel. Want deze jongen die kan nergens meer naartoe.
Start jeukverlichting binnen 30 minuten. Verlicht eczeem met Bepanthen eczeemcrème. Zonder cortisone. Vaginale schimmel is heel normaal. Behandeld met 1 zachte capsule van Canesten. Het doodt de schimmel en verlicht zo jeuk en een branderig gevoel. Snel en effectief.
Een salon-effect, maar dan thuis? Nieuw Pro XXL Lift van L'Oréal Paris. Een 2-staps mascara. 1 volume. 2 lift en krul. 79% van de vrouwen zou overstappen van een lashliftbehandeling naar Pro XXL Lift van L'Oréal Paris.
Schaatsen is mijn passie. Ook tijdens mijn menstruatie blijf ik bewegen.
Always Ultra maandverbanden voorkomen een vochtig gevoel, lekken en geurtjes.
Ik voel me vrij als ik op het ijs sta. Ik blijf gewoon gaan.
Verander de regels, always.
Je kunt niet voorkomen dat je kinderen thuiskomen met vuil van school. En het dan door het hele huis verspreiden. Maar wat je wel kunt doen, is Dettol gebruiken. Dettol garandeert een perfecte hygiëne voor al je oppervlakken. Dettol, het nummer 1 hygiënemerk in Nederland. En wist je dat 80% van de ziektekiemen zich via de handen verspreiden? Met Dettol No Touch kun je hygiënisch en gemakkelijk je handen wassen. Dettol.
Every serial killer starts with one victim.
Her first killing was the pinnacle of rage. She was the predator.
This is a wicked, wicked world.
What makes them cross the line
She felt that she was finally going to get even with all the men who have hurt her.
and take someone's life?
He's stalking women. He's chasing women. He was a Jekyll and Hyde kind of person, evidently.
First Blood, Thursdays at 10:55 on Crime and Investigation.
After being alerted to a potentially important discovery, in borehole D1.5.
What in the hell is going on here?
Hey, Marty.
Rick and Marty arrive at the money pit for a more in-depth report.
Here we go.
What happened?
We had some interesting things.
Yes?
We went into some wood at about 83 feet below grade. We might have found a dowel. The bottom of our interesting intersection at 92 to 93 feet, we hit a beam about 6 inches, I'd say, thickness. But we hit about 10 feet intersection of materials.
The till above was pretty dense. It wasn't loose, and then suddenly we hit wood, then this stuff, and then we hit wood and we're out of it, and it's dense again.
What if the 10-foot sort of thing means it's coming up to a great big chamber? That could be your offset chamber. That's your offset chamber.
That's what we were thinking too.
My leading theory about the money pit is that there's an offset chamber. If the money pit was designed to go down and distract somebody from a chamber that was actually tunneled off to one side, which is what this is kind of suggesting, then what you have is the perfect hiding spot, because in the thinking of 100 or 200 years ago, no one else could possibly ever find that. There would be no way. There'd be no surface disturbance. There would be nothing.
There's this rectangle where we hit wood.
It's about 18 by 12 feet.
That would apply to a chamber too, wouldn't it?
It could apply to a chamber.
Yeah.
Here's a piece of wood that Charles found, and it looks like it might be rounded, like it's the outer edge, which would give us a good date of when the tree was cut down.
Perhaps if this dates to be old,